That's all you
So
need.
how long before we get a Gilligan's Island reboot when they're eating each other?
Mr. Bean was actually Scrappy. That was the
word.
Yeah. You did what? Did you guys not watch the movie?
I did watch the movie. But I don't remember Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean was the guy who ran the island.
Oh, you mean at the end of the day it was Scrappy?
It was Scrappy.
Oh yeah, I do remember
that.
Yeah. Well, I fuck with Scrappy because I fuck with the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. So I didn't like how they did that shit.
That's one I think we were talking about with the Supernatural episode. Yeah. When are we going to get a 13 Ghosts and then Scooby Doo crossover where it's darkened? You know.
Well, that
has to be done.
Scooby Doo is his own podcast.
They just did Scooby Doo and Supernatural.
They did. And Supernatural has that. Because that was going to be the first Supernatural I watched was the Scooby-Doo crossover, but I didn't get to it.
I just recently went back and restarted Supernatural thinking, okay, it's going to be dumb. Let's see if I can get back into it. And I'm like, where did I leave off in my rewatch? End of season
one. Probably chasing a demon.
Yes.
They had some kind of thing where one of them was going to be possessed by the devil.
Close.
And
somehow, is the devil their daddy?
No, their dad is Negan from Walking Dead.
For reals?
Yeah.
He do like... Hey, boy. Just like your old man. Hey.
I tried to watch some Supernatural, and after it just kept repeating over and over again. It's kind of like watching, Charmed.
Sure, but Supernatural was only supposed to last 5
like the
seasons.
new Charmed, though. The new Charmed is cool.
All right.
Okay. I'll go with that, I guess. I mean, if it's only supposed to last 5 seasons, but then they're all like super heartthrobs and stuff like that, and all the chicks want them to keep going for like, what is it, like 15
seasons.
15?
I thought it was on 20. I literally thought this was like the 19th season.
No, 15.
Well, that's still
well, let's go ahead and start up our first season. Welcome to another episode of Escaping Podcast.
The best podcast in Colorado Springs when it comes to all things geek, nerdy, and everything in between.
And by everything in between, he means those spaces in your utility belt that you just don't know what to fill with. As always, I am Daniel. I'm joined to my right by...
Kelts for show, a.k.a. always dressed to impress.
Across the table from us, we've got...
Got TJ here that's manning this side of the table, and speaking of those spaces in between, I am man-spreading the entire table.
The smell is really something to talk about.
It's an aroma, if you will.
I was going to say musky.
Robust.
Yeah.
But you're welcome.
Oh, thank you. We've got John, as always, doing art in the studio for us.
Hi, everybody.
And as always, our studio is Escape Velocity Comics in downtown Colorado Springs. Just a disclaimer, our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas expressed in this podcast do not represent that of Escape Velocity Comics. Mm-hmm. They just let us come in here and do our thing. They turned a blind eye just like...
Listen.
Yeah, like Jesus did when his disciples would steal from the people.
See, I was going to go with Nick Fury or Kakashi Sensei. But
Nick Fury has a permanent turned blind eye.
But I'm saying, like, how does he see? Does he turn? He turns, like, that's exhausting.
He's got mirrors set up.
It could be like that one guy that was looking sideways in the Madonna True Blue.
Yes.
Or
what? Number like 2 from Austin Power movies? Was it number 2?
It was. Today we are talking about super suits. Guys... Super suits. What's your favorite super suit?
Oh my god, favorite super suits.
I'll give you 2 to choose from if you need to.
No.
Let him choose himself.
So I'm going to choose myself. Yeah, anybody who dresses up like me. No. So I'm a fan of functional over flashy, and so I like Cable.
You like right the pouches?
I do. Big ass gun. Nothing special. He's wearing pants. That's it. Right. Pants. He's got a silver arm. He's got like a radio because he wants to talk on a radio. He's got a gun because he wants to shoot a gun. He's got a pouch because he's got some stuff to store.
Like
and those pants are pretty damn tight. You're not putting in a pocket.
Gigapets.
That's right. It could be Beanie Babies or Starbucks. It could be just about anything.
Fruit Stripe gum because you know you need a lot of those because the flavor is non-existent.
But at the same time.
Yep.
Now Cable's gone through a bunch of different iterations with his costume. Which would you say is your favorite?
You've got to
like
have
Lee-Field era.
No, absolutely, yeah, no feet, but you have to have like 8 foot wide shoulder pads on there for no damn reason. This huge
and
old
extra
pad.
veins.
No, but Cable in almost any iteration is all virtually the same. He's got too many guns, too many utility pouches and straps and things around his thigh that we couldn't possibly stay up in action. But it's absolutely form over function, but it does have an identity.
Right. Now, that was something I was going to ask because you, as someone who used to wear, duds, your army garb.
So does that play into one of the reasons why you did Cable so aesthetic?
That's exactly why I joined the Army. It's to be Cable.
We all have our reasons to serve.
I'm
man.
saying,
Hey,
man. Well, I mean, like,
It might.
better than that than the Camaro.
how many pockets did you have? Just
Wow. So 1, 2, 3, somewhere around 14, and not
so
allowed to put
that
my
makes
hands. Can't put my hands in any of them.
Kels, what about you?
For me, I would just go ahead and go. I would just start off by saying Spider-Man, point blank period.
Indeed.
So that way, it covers Spider-Gwen and Miles.
Spider-Gwen is not Spider-Man.
But still, it's Spider-Person.
It depends on which way
You
she
could be
identifies.
exactly. Who am I to say? She just don't want to be the Ghost Spider. But I'm pretty sure her name is Ghost Spider, not Ghost Spider Woman.
Yes, yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever. But yes, Spider-Gwen, the hoodie alone, the aesthetics, the visualization of the webs and how they interacts with the color scheme, with the white, the black, and I want to say the turquoise in the shoes. Then you have the pink lining, visually stunning. With Miles, once again, the webbing, you're just used to seeing with the black webs from Peter's suit, but the red and black pops, those are like two of my favorite color combinations.
No, I'm not surprised, Kelsey. You just absolutely cheated on that question. But no,
I didn't know I was dating that question and having answers to that. Like, yo.
no, if you had to pick one of those
Yeah,
costumes,
yeah.
No. I'm going with it all because I'm trying to answer the question. My answer just isn't what you want, but it's what you're gonna get.
but because I don't want to answer your question.
For real, I'm answering your question.
Doesn't mean it's not an answer.
Exactly, I'm answering the question because Spider-Man has some of my favorite spider suits or suits in general, and most famous is for me would be the black one. Well, that's what I'm wearing right now, the symbiote Spider-Man suit from Secret Wars, and also Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider-Man hoodie, which I have a replica at the crib too. Ben Reilly's costume I love a lot because when I first started like reading comic books or started trying to draw comic book characters, he was the Spider-Man on the stands. And the black costume with Peter, I remember seeing it like in the Secret Wars, not even Secret Wars, the Venom arc in the cartoon, and just knowing about it by picking up comic books and knowing about who Venom was. And the thing too with Spider-Man is like when he changes a suit, people notice. For the most part, some of them are trash, but then other times they're iconic.
Well, I mean, I guess I would argue that most of the time he changes his uniform, nobody notices. Because it's almost always red and blue, right?
Sure.
Same basic like spider in the chest,
Yes.
but then it's whatever. Sometimes it's got
Spider in the
blades, something like
chest, flamboyant on the rest.
that. That's right, pretty tight. That's
For
nice.
me, and I know you
nobody asked you,
claimed
Daniel.
all of the Spiderdom.
No,
but
that's what I'm
gonna
trying to
go
say.
ahead
Like, that's why I have to put my stamp on it.
I'm going to take one for myself here.
Exactly, which I keep
and that is
forgetting to mention.
Future Foundation Spider-Man. It was right after the death of Human Torch, and he joined the Fantastic Four. He had that.
To be clear, almost the polar opposite of what Kelsey
Yes.
said. Okay.
Yes. But I still, that's what my probably fifth favorite Spider-Man suit.
Out of 100.
No, out of 10. Like, I'm not counting the
Taking
Armored
them all.
Spider-Man from
Taking
Web
them all.
of Spider-Man 100 with the hologram cover.
Multi-leg spider.
That's one of my favorites. When the Fantastic Four switched to those suits, it was amazing, you know? It was fantastic, even.
Hickman.
Yeah, Hickman, all praise Hickman.
Hickman, yeah.
But my absolute favorite costume has got to be Gambit. I love the trench coat. I love that stupid little
The pink.
head mask.
Daniel's ridiculous.
Before men were wearing pink,
Sir,
Gambit
this
brought
is
it in.
my
Oh, my
answer.
bad. My apologies. I didn't mean to step on your toes. Let me.
He's got his Hot Topic boots. He's got his trench coat, his duster. He's got his bow staff, and he's got
Retractable.
that headpiece that just it's enough to keep your forehead and cheeks warm, but your main face and your hair it's bad.
And it also helps you focus on his eyes. And
yes.
Black
There's
and
no
red.
question that costume is cool.
It's
However,
amazing.
he's supposed to be
Metal
intermittently
Knight
the
Eyes.
leader of the Den of Thieves, right?
I don't think you're allowed to say it like that.
Whoa,
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to say it like
This is
that.
the Assassin's Guild. No, the Thieves Guild.
Thieves Guild, Den of
Yeah.
Thieves. Yeah. So,
I thought we spoke English here. My fault, bro.
but no, you got to speak Louisiana, Nolans.
Nolans.
But
Cajun. The term you're looking for is Cajun.
Creole.
no,
I don't think even Gambit spoke that.
He did.
You didn't moan at me.
but this cat is supposed to be like all sneaky and steal stuff, and he wears the giant metal boots, clang, 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 hot pink, see it from across the room. That's amazing. Now the trench coat, I get it, and then
mean-
the bow staff makes no sense.
Something.
But it
well,
also- go ahead.
let me pander to you for a second.
Oh, okay.
And say he's got all the pockets. And you
Oh,
know what's in
wait.
those pockets? Mini golf balls. Jelly Bellies.
That's right, Pokemon
cards,
cards.
Pokemon
Yep.
cards,
for
Yu-Gi-Oh
days.
cards. Probably some of those little stones that tell you about yourself.
You know what he's got is Pogs.
He's got.
Exactly.
Anybody remember Pogs?
Oh yeah.
That's what he's got.
But that's the thing too about Gambit. That just shows how great of a thief he is. He could wear all that outlandish, flamboyant shit and still get the job done.
And get the girl.
Yes, and just imagine if he wore just all black.
He'd
He'd be unstoppable.
He'd be
He
Spider-Man.
did when he was a Horseman of the Apocalypse.
Oh, death. No, he didn't wear all black. He was all black. With the white hair, the red eyes, and the gas powers. The poisonous gas.
That's why I
powers.
love him so much. We both exude
that's
a
about
fume
right. Yeah.
that just makes everyone sick. and
uptown
maybe
funk
die.
indeed.
That's right.
Or should I say a downtown funk?
So with these costumes, is it more preferable to go style over substance? I guess what I'm saying is, do you want a costume that is more practical and works to your power set, or do you want something that looks good and is iconic?
To me, it depends on the character we speak of. Some people, it doesn't matter what they wear, the job is going to get done. Like, for example, long time, Wolverine had the cowl, but then when we got, like, the Foxman with the leather, he got rid of the cowl, and a lot of iterations post that. Most of the comic books he's in, he's wearing a t-shirt, cowboy boots, and maybe a hat.
Sometimes even a Stetson. He wore a Stetson for like a decade.
Exactly, and it's okay, because it's not about...
It wasn't okay.
Back when Stetsons weren't cool. That's right.
Well, if you bring it like that, but like for it's him getting the job done because he's the best at what he does, and what he does is very nice.
He's wearing Stetsons.
Exactly, he doesn't need the suit to speak for him.
What he does is he shops at Cavender's. He goes out and
right.
makes a bunch
Wolverine
of...
doesn't shop; he just goes in and takes. Just like he
Charlotte
took,
He's
like he
still
tried
Canadian.
to take
He's still
Jean from
Canadian.
Cyclops.
Man, oh man. No, okay. So you got to ask. So are you trying to identify them, or are they trying to be functional? And I think that the bottom line comes down to it: if it's cool, it rules.
Yes,
That's
and
it.
it rhymes, so it's a fact.
That's right.
It
That's
kind
right.
of rhymes. That was like Lady and Baby. You had a cools and rules, but there was no S on
Cool's
them.
rules. I'm the rapper here, so
yeah,
what I
no.
say goes.
It's stamped off
you
by
know?
Kel, so it's not. So I think for the most part, they just got to be cool. Bottom line. I mean, that explains, Jean Grey's miniskirt for, about 6 years? And even now. Because that is, or Dagger, or Emma Frost, or damn near anybody.
What about Havoc?
headpiece.
His is a dorky ass suit with a bunch of headbands,
But it's
Not all the
it's
time,
functional on his chest. It powers that straight through him.
Yeah, it helps him
I
channel
think
and
so.
regulate his absorption of cosmic and ambient
Yes.
energies. But they also could redesign it too, like when he was part of Mutant X. It was a different color, a different look, and at the same time, like when he was with X Factor.
Yeah, when he was leader of the
Yes,
X
Factor,
Factor,
yeah.
He didn't have anything at all.
Yeah,
He
it
had
was
this
a
bitchin'
big
leather jacket. Yeah.
the same gamut headpiece.
Well, okay.
right.
What about let's switch from just Marvel for a second. What about Bakugo in My Hero Academia?
Oh, because that's what I like about My Hero too, because they bring in aspects of, like what TJ was saying, functionality to the costume, so it helps them better. What's the word I'm looking for?
Utilize.
Maximize. Help them to be better and more efficient heroes with their abilities. With Bakugo, it allows him to not saying harness, but
Well, yeah, basically harness. He wears these
It's
gauntlets
sweat
that look
glands.
like grenades, and they collect all the sweat glands, which are basically nitroglycerin, and so that way he can focus his fire blasts.
and it gives him more of a reserve too, so he's just not using them all willy nilly. And it also helps him able to control his blast and give him various types of techniques.
It's
Sweaty
like-
nitroglycerin.
Yeah, it's as if I were to take a funnel and put it backwards in my butt. Then it would exude the power.
Kind of like
I don't think
Thunderbird
it's
2.
anything like that.
Kind of like Thunderbird 2.
Okay, not the
X-Men.
original,
Yeah,
sure.
the second one that came in towards the end of the 90s, and he had that power to create napalm by the sweat glands in his body and shit. It's like oh man.
Now, for those
it's
of you
right
who
after
can't-
Apocalypse to 12.
Which way does the funnel have to go in your butt to be backwards?
Ooh.
You got
that's a
me there,
big
guy.
anus.
No, I don't, Daniel.
The sheer look of terror, disgust, and dare I say curiosity in TJ's face as we're talking about
Oh,
all
you
this.
did spark the curiosity. That's
right.
I don't know how that's getting in
So,
there. Or getting out.
is there someone in these comic book universes that, because, some make their own costumes, some go and get it made. And then you've got the case of Power Girl, where that whole, the boob window is not just for, aesthetic things. She has to have it there, which they retcon later on so that way they could keep it.
Why? What was the
Thank
retcon?
God.
Because I did not know about that.
It was something dumb about it being able to regulate her power,
Which is bullshit.
It was like solar powered?
Yeah,
Tell me it's
yeah.
solar powered.
It was
That's what I
probably
want.
something solar powered.
They should just wear a 2-piece and call it a day.
That,
Or put a solar panel there, and you're
or
good
you
to
can
go.
just say, I got him, I'm flaunting him.
Exactly. I could see if it was like, since they're already big, but now I'm gonna give you a look so I could distract you, so it makes it easier for me to beat my opponent. But you're Kryptonian. You could
Beat
literally
your-
beat
Anyone.
98% of anybody that walks in front of you.
True.
That's
So,
how I beat my opponent.
is there someone out there that does these suits?
I mean, so in various storylines there are, but also Mr. Fantastic, he makes the Fantastic uniforms and probably half the other uniforms
Unstable molecules.
out of unstable molecules and something from the Phantom Zone and blessed off by something.
Negative zone.
Negative Zone. Sorry, it's cross universes there,
It's okay.
literally. But yeah, so there's
In the blink of an eye.
and there are a few that have manufacturers, I suppose. Then you can start asking some really cool questions like, who the hell pays for these things? How come they're not
Right.
shared with the public? You
Well-
know, that kind of stuff. But I think for the most part, no, they're magic. They just show up. I mean, Deadpool alone ruins like 6-7 costumes every issue, and there's just no way any third world nation can keep up with an.
Right, and as we've seen in the comics, Deadpool just slaps together whatever he has. At one point, he's even wearing a bunch of Beanie Baby type toys around his junk,
Yeah.
and that's his costume for
Or
the
like that
issue.
one time he ended up in an X Mansion. He was walking around in Marvel Girl's whole costume, and everybody's just like, "Yo, cover like, bro,
You need to
that's way
put
too
this-
much
there's a-
cool."
So,
Way too much cool.
But then we've got in the Netflix Marvel universe, we've got there's a guy who makes most of the costumes for these villains, and even in the background you see Stiltman
Yes.
stuff,
Yeah.
and he makes Daredevil's first costume. And I like that idea. Even in the Invincible universe, there's a guy who everyone goes to, and he keeps their secret, but he makes their that's how he keeps his lucrative local business.
I really like the stories where you get to learn where those costumes come from.
Okay.
I mean, so even, goodness gracious. So even in the Spider-Man, Homecoming? Yeah. Homecoming. We get to see the Vulture where the all those things come from. Yeah, there's this cat tinkering on the table. But the point really is that,
He was the Tinkerer.
so to speak. And true. Right. But where did it come from? Oh, this is technology we've been harvesting from
The
the
Chitauri.
Right,
Chitauri
right.
equipment. So I thought that was, now that particular story is fine, but I just like understanding where this comes from. Like where did the Rhino get his costume? Well, we had to see this whole kind of lair research lab thing where we had 6 or
In the
7
Amazing
different
Spider-Man
the Sinister
verse.
Six
Yeah.
costumes. I thought that's really, really cool. So it sort of answers your question a little bit, right? That is there somebody making these? Well,
Technically,
yeah,
yes.
and I like the stories about where they made them personally. Maybe they don't have 2 of them,
Right.
but
So that brings me to my next point. Making them personally, there's no way that's going to work for every hero.
Yeah,
I
they
make
don't
my
have
own costumes, Daniel.
real. They don't have the resources
Yeah.
or the know-how.
You've got a broke kid in Queens stitching together a costume. I mean, yes,
From
he's a
neoprene
genius.
that Elk holds up to fighting all those people.
Exactly,
because
because his
reverse-
aunt May
no
taught
way.
him his way around a needle and thread.
Sure,
from
and
quilt making growing up
I
as a
will
kid.
accept that Peter has taken home ec.
Oh, sure.
Oh, you have to. You had to.
no,
man.
I mean
But-
just Aunt May would just
Real.
tell him.
She
how to
probably
do it. Here.
knitted the fucking first American
That's-
flag
she-
and all that shit. Probably with
Betsy Ross.
Susan
That's
B.
right.
Anthony and shit. Aunt May is old as
Susan
dirt.
B. Anthony.
Or whoever that was.
I think you mean Sadie B. Hawkins.
That's right.
Say to be what? What's she hawking?
God. No, but some of that story is plausible. So in the beginning time for Spider-Man, it's a plausible situation.
Back when it started in the 20s.
Jesus, something. But no, could he
In the
have gotten
beginning
a wetsuit? Could he have spray painted it? Could he have stitched something? Sure, kind of maybe. Why
Like
not?
Kick-Ass.
Yeah. So in the beginning, it's plausible. You can have a kid get a wetsuit from a pawn shop or something and stitch it together with the thread that Aunt May provided and stuff. But it starts to really quickly become implausible the first time he gets torn. So how do you go back and make something like that? Because it's such a unique, and oddly sort of somewhat technical kind of costume.
Oh, yeah, it came from the heart that one time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but actually going with Miles and Gwen, they have a little more casual style.
Exactly. And the thing, too, which I think people neglect when it comes to Peter's suit in the early days, he is a fucking genius. too, so he's a smart ass kid.
He's also a fucking nerd, am I right, guys?
Nerd. What a geek.
But like,
For all other nerdy things, you can tune into Escaping Podcast.
but just like with the other Sparta heroes, it's almost like the coming of age story too is your suit. And with Miles into the Spider-Verse, we go through his whole journey of him putting on a fake, dollar store or whatever Spider-Man costume, running around doing that until he comes into his own. He takes off the Jordans, the shorts, the hoodie. Aunt May was like, "Yo, I've been waiting for this." He takes his spray paint because we all know he's a tagger, so he brings in that element. He tags up the suit, makes it his own, and now he is his own Spider-Man. And that was like a beautiful transition through that whole film with him becoming the man that we all know.
And that's pretty easy to go get another hoodie. Or to go get, except for to go get another Spider-Man costume, you're in the same kind of problem. But like with Spider-Gwen, you can take a look at her outfit and go, you know what? Zentai suit and a sweatshirt, stitch that together. If it gets torn up, okay, you're out $25. And so you can make it again, I think.
Well, and another thing with those younger heroes that we've seen kind of rise up in these comics, Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, hers is very representative of who she is as a person, what she believes, while still giving the proper homage to Captain Marvel. It looks like clothing.
So how is it? How does it related to her culture, who she is, and
the bands are? There's a whole thing there about Muslim belief and how she has them on to respect her parents, respect where she comes from. She also keeps her hijab as a scarf.
That scarf is her hijab? Okay. So when she's out, she's like this, then she's like...
Originally, she would pop it over,
And so when she's out being all super and stuff, it comes off.
Well, yeah, because she's, Miss Marvel. She's got the mask on, and she doesn't want anyone to know exactly who she is. Yes. Right. But for the most part, she's wearing pants. She's wearing sneakers. She's wearing an oversized Miss Marvel shirt. And... she looks great.
Speaking of that, too, that just reminds me of, speaking of costumes and her being of the Muslim religion, then you have Dusk and the New Mutants and the X-Men who wore the whole thing. She didn't falter from that.
No X on it, no nothing.
And I think later on she might have the X on here, but she totally was like, nope, my faith is first. I'm still a mutant, but I'm a ride.
The first one, though. First X-Men to do that.
Absolutely.
Zion from X-Men 2099.
See, I'm not familiar with the 29.
Okay, yeah, to get familiar, because man, that's just like rules my life.
And we're about to actually hit a whole 2099 rebirth here.
I'm not diving into that well.
But
they can miss me with that one.
I don't know. I like that they can make whatever costume they want to. They can go and get it from whoever and have it be iconic. But I think there's something more special about when they make it themselves, like Miles and Into the Spider-Verse, Ms. Marvel in her comic series. It doesn't fall in line with a costume that has come before. It's just who they are.
Yeah.
Like when Dick Grayson stopped being Robin and went on to become Nightwing.
And he had a disco collar.
Ow, that disco collar, the mullet. Oh, and his butt. Whoever kept drawing his butt so plump in those 90s comics, that is a staple today.
Gotta bring in the ladies.
Bounce
or keep the men around.
You could bounce a giant penny from off that thing.
Hey, I know this is random, but where did he get the giant penny from? Is it always the same story, or is it just different?
For that, tune into our Batman-related episode coming up in the future.
I just should have Googled it last night when it really popped in my brain.
We will do some research. But even Bats throughout the his time, we've seen many different versions of the same style.
Yes. Well, yeah, so we kind of keep dancing around this idea here. The point is that the costume has got to be your identity.
Exactly.
And so, I mean...
so people know who you are in the streets.
Yeah, and more importantly, know when you're the hero and when you're not, when you're just...
See, I would say that Bruce Wayne is his costume.
I would agree with that.
Batman is who he really is. Same way Clark Kent is the disguise of Superman. But I know that we're not trying to get all metaphysical about it.
Let's go into Superman.
It's a solid alter ego at that point where the costume becomes who you are. And so donning it or doffing it at that point changes the scenario.
That's true.
No, but so it's got to be your identity. Kind of like Captain America. Captain America doesn't hide from anybody.
Nope.
But he picks up the shield, puts the cowl on like that. He's Captain America. He takes the cowl off, and he's just talking like he's Steve Rogers. But you all know he's still Captain America. Sure. But the other point is, if you have homemade costumes, you almost necessarily make them individual, which means that you tend to lose group identity.
Yes.
So Fantastic Four, they're all blue, or at least the thing has blue shorts or whatever, and they all get the 4 on them, right?
They're all family too, so that ties it in and being uniform.
Oh yeah. My dad tried to make us all dress the same way while going to Disneyland once, and it did not work out.
And the thing too about like the Fantastic Four, like when Black Panther and Storm came apart, a team, they went from the blue and white to black and white to show that solidarity and
Why
that
did he
union.
have to be black?
Because he's the Black Panther.
Oh, I get it now.
Even Black Panther using vibranium in his costume is part of who he is. Vibranium is a staple of Wakanda.
Yes.
It's not like he's outsourcing somewhere else, but then you've got Steve Rogers, who definitely is using vibranium for his own uses.
But he earned that.
He did earn that.
He earned that from T'Challa's granddad.
Material on the planet and made it into a frisbee.
And people shit on Ultron. That movie was okay, man.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. So I'd like to do a heel turn
here. Who you calling sir?
What are some of the worst costumes you've seen done to some of your favorite heroes?
Ooh, hold on. Now I gotta take a step backwards.
While I've loved many... I mean,
that's a thinker.
I loved the Mr. Knight stuff from the new Moon Knight, where he, instead of having his big cowl or his hoodie and the cape, he wore a button-up suit, he wore a tie, and just a simple mask over his face. And I love that. But there are some really dumb ones where he's done like Servant of Khonshu, and then you get Deadpool from the Ultimate Universe, who's just a stupid looking character. There's so many versions of these characters that had to go through, trial and error. Look at all the many costumes of Kitty Pryde.
Oh my God. That's almost too easy. I was trying to avoid talking about Kitty Pryde, but no, that's fair.
You can't move
through
it.
costumes.
You can't move through it.
You can't move through it without touching on it.
I see what you did there.
But no, so she changed, clothing like she changed. Well, hopefully she's changed her underwear at the same time. But
you have to change those?
For real, if she just phased through them, she just phased off the phone.
But yeah, okay, so we're all talking about the Sprite costume at the very least.
Yes, the Sprite costume, please.
Yeah, roller skates, pink tutu, or green tutu, and the goggles, and she's going to a Dazzler concert for crying out loud. That's why she had that costume.
I tried to sing a Dazzler song, then I realized I don't know a single
and
word.
that she's not real. Okay,
true, but Jim and the holograms are, and they truly are outrageous.
Yes.
That's true. That's awesome.
But Kitty Pryde, she's tried. She's landed on, what is it, the most recent one has been very solid.
Yeah, it's a throwback to New Mutants or early X-Men.
Early X-Men.
The high pop collar.
Yeah, she was wearing that a little bit where she was Shadow Cat in the late 90s, early 2000s X-Men run when her, Colossus, and Nightcrawler rejoined the squad.
Well, and sticking with X-Men, let's talk about Wolverine's first costume versus the many changes we've seen through that costume. You mentioned this, the cowboy hat, the cowboy boots. He's worn the orange and brown. And then
the tan and brown.
There was the first one.
That's right.
Tell me about the first one, guys.
That's right.
First one, when he debuted in Incredible Hulk, I want to say off the top, 118.
181.
181. It was somewhere in there. But yeah, he had like the whiskers. And like you mentioned before, TJ, his claws back then, they didn't realize. They didn't plan for him to coming out of his body, so they were basically attached to his gloves.
That's right.
And it looks very similar to his classic blue and yellow gold design.
And his cowl is extremely close to his head.
It's very more smaller, making more Wolverine looking like the animal.
But that speaks, I think, to the artists or to the creative team there as they're designing a character. Where do they want him to go? So his name is Wolverine. He's got these claws, are part of his gloves. He's actually just a mutant with a healing factor. That's all he is at that point, even though, we know what happened to him before now. Right. But at that point, that's all he was. Short, scrappy, healing factor, likes to get in fights, takes on the Hulk with his weapons that he puts on. And then, of course, he evolved, and now he's a Wolverine, not a wolf. Okay? But,
they wanted him to be an actual Wolverine who was experimented on.
And it was transformed into a man.
Awesome.
Which makes the whole love triangle even worse.
He literally, in some ways that makes more sense because he literally was an animal, so it's hard for him to control. He doesn't know what to be like a man because he's only been a man for 3 months, and we trained him to kill people.
It's like if we turned the family dog into a human and introduced him to love. At some point, he's still going to want to fuck the cushions in between the couch.
Exactly.
And
eat his own poop.
Eat his own poop.
And you just got to let him.
Gotta let him.
I mean, otherwise.
Thanksgiving gets really weird when he starts biting people. But
it's in his DNA, man.
We'll talk about some bad costumes.
Yeah, tell me about your bad costumes.
So again, I'm X-Men guy, right? So
is this about when you were role-playing the other night?
I don't role play. That's me. As we talked about, this is my costume.
This is the costume.
No, so I was looking at your issue up here on the wall here, but Colossus, when he went through his proletariat phase. Talking about a throwback to
we was wearing that red,
the most traditional communist workers' party outfit. And my God, there is so much packed into that image.
So much packed into
Russia.
I got to unpack all of the 80s and the Cold War. and to see his, going back to his cultural roots, which is valid, but damn.
And Colossus was all over the place too, because I forgot, like, he was an acolyte for a hot minute too. It was like,
that's right.
After he Magneto snatched out Wolverine metal out of his body.
Actually, before and then,
Okay,
during and after, yeah. So, but yeah.
Let's talk about some other shitty ones. Back when Superman was wearing a leather jacket.
That's awesome.
Was
We're
that
talking
that
about
was awesome.
what Grease just came out, man.
Duh, leather jackets are cool.
Tell me more.
No,
Do you have kryptonite?
Tell me more. Was Let's There that night?
Who
Give him the
plays it
kryptonite.
south? Look at that.
I think it was stupid. I think it's right up there with Frankenstein, and I don't mean Frankenstein's monster or Dr. Frankenstein. I mean when Frank Castle was brought back from the dead.
Or when Frank became Cosmic Ghost Rider.
I love that.
I like it, but the fact that he's Frank Castle is unnecessary. You could totally just made him a rando, or make him just Johnny Blaze in the
Nobody planned on him being popular. It was all just in that Thanos legacy.
But I think that's what makes it pop, is because you come to a universe where Thanos wins, and you've got a Deadpool-like character, and then you find out the reason his brain is broken is because he's been through all this, and it's the most serious character you had in your series.
And it would have made more sense for it to be Deadpool, but it was like, no, Frank was on Earth for so long, he snapped, being the spirit of vengeance.
I'm saying,
why does he need a helmet?
Because it looks cool.
Because,
and he's crazy.
No, you're right, because it's cool.
I didn't even think about that. He does wear a fucking helmet. But same thing with like Spider-Gwen and Edge of Spider-Verse. She was supposed to be a one-off, but next thing you know, people gravitate towards her. And
what happened to Silk?
Nothing.
Silk
was Asian.
Silk was utilized for a good long while.
What happened to her? She was terminally Asian.
She was Asian. Nobody was. That's what it is.
Silk was utilized until she stopped being a plot piece. Yes. You know what I mean?
I thought it was really cool.
She was great.
Isn't she a part of the new Agents of Atlas?
She is.
The Asians of Atlas is basically what they are.
Asians of Atlas.
No, they are Asian characters. Like, I fuck with that.
It's
true. But I mean, her costume as well. I mean, that is
self-made.
That is right there in between Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales, right there.
It is. I shout out my respects to Cindy Moon. Like, you doing your thing, girl.
Yeah, even her origin is awesome. But,
I mean, I think you have to take chances with new costumes for your characters.
Yes, of course you do.
I mean,
sometimes.
Just we can't get so angry at these costumes when they come around saying, "Oh, I don't like that," because look at all the shit we've been through with comics for the past 75 years.
And at some point in time, they'll go back to their OG costumes eventually.
Right, it's always a throwback. I mean,
it's just an artist expressing themselves, and sometimes an idea sticks, and it's great. I mean, like the black costume for Spider-Man was awesome. I'm very convinced that it was not Venom to begin with.
But is it a costume?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Venom.
It was just cool. It's a great use of like a black negative space, right? And just because it's black doesn't mean it's negative. I just need to put that out there.
Anyway, I know how that works. Yeah. Like, it's a film term. I went to college. Didn't finish, but I went.
But I mean, it's.
Then it was like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, nah.
What are you doing here? but Spider-Man in red and black there is popping against everything in New York, and then let's just kind of go opposite. Black negative space. It's kind of incredible. Mm-hmm. Well, it took a lot of people that liked Spider-Man all the way from the beginnings. I think from the 1840s, but and forward just were used to the red and blue. They could handle a little variation, but they weren't handling the black, so they had to make it symbiote, something else. And now that turned out to be awesome. So there's changes to costumes that take and don't, and it's great. I don't have any problem with it as long as the artists are a little bit more responsive to the public.
Exactly. And it looks good, like you said.
Yeah.
If it's cool, it rules.
If it's cool, it rules. Now, what are some changes you would like to see with some characters? Like, just pick a character, one character, and what are some changes you would like to see? Me personally.
Again, nobody asked you, Daniel.
You can't ask yourself things.
I can ask myself whatever the fuck I want. How are you doing, Daniel? Sexy. So am I. That's great. Want to kiss?
See you, right?
Stop it. For me personally, I like in like independent comics, you've got heroes and you don't necessarily have the same costume unless you're talking like East of West, All Hail Hickman, where the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse are their main colors the whole time. But then you've got characters in Saga who are just dressing like normal people every day. Sometimes they're hiding away from the government that's trying to find them, and it's not until they use their powers that you know who you're looking at.
Like the beginning of Runaways.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
They're all discovering their powers. They're all just wearing like hoodies and pants.
Now,
because they have no hero identity, so
right.
they just are who they are.
I want to see more of a set tone for Quentin Quire in the sense of an actual costume, kind of how he's supposed to be the Phoenix Force later on. I like that he wears the cutoff shirt and the Magneto was right stuff. Yeah, those are always great.
Some good points.
But I kind of want to see him be a little more of a team player and have like a defining costume.
But wouldn't that go against his character?
That's exactly the point, right there. He's
fuck a costume. I'm Quentin Quire. I almost brought down all this shit.
I'm on the team. I'm the anti-team guy, and so that's why I'm wearing my vest, and that's where it's like
I'm gonna go be a champion.
And that's why instead of having some kind of like a psychic bolt or a sword, he's got a fucking psychic shotgun.
He's got his boomstick. It's awesome. His psychic boomstick.
It's incredible.
I don't know.
But so for me, there's a couple, but Apocalypse's arms. Have you seen the goddamn hoses on those things?
I think they're great.
Wouldn't they get caught on every like drawer handle as he walks by, or like something like that?
If they're not properly enforced, yeah.
No, because he is the fittest, and he will survive. Those door handles won't.
And those hoses, they fit.
I suppose wherever he goes, he's got the hose, and that rhymes. Kelsey.
Yes, I know.
That's true.
As we learned from the OJ trial, if it rhymes, it works.
That didn't even rhyme. That's not
no,
right.
It doesn't have to.
If it rhymes, it's the Times. It's closer. It's not right, but it's getting there.
I hate this fucking show, and I'm going to flip this fucking table.
You just got to get with it. That's the problem. You need to be street like Kels and I.
Exactly.
You guys aren't being. If
the rhymes are legit, you can't say shit. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
I had a fucking nightmare like this once.
So if there was anybody right now with a costume aesthetic I would like to see change, I would definitely go off the top. I would just say Cyclops real quick because I don't like the blue.
He literally just changed his costume.
I don't like the blue and black. I'm a fan of the red and black of that design. Also, I would like to see him go more towards the classic 90s.
So you like how his costume was after he killed Professor X?
No. Actually, I take it back. I like the Astonishing X-Men Cyclops. With the black and the gold. I'm partial to black and gold colors.
Okay, yeah.
That's me personally, just off the top. And I think Archangel's skin shouldn't be blue. It should be like gray or black.
That
looks more like death, or
listen,
like white, like a phantom, like some type of ghost. The Pale Rider, if you're gonna be death.
We here at Escaping Podcast do not discriminate against any character's skin color, no matter if it's blue, gold, or brown.
Genetically modified or otherwise.
Yeah, it's fine.
Or gray or whatever.
All right, Daniel, here's a question. It's just for you, nobody else. I mean, if y'all want to jump in, by all means, go ahead.
Okay,
but
cool.
Here's a question, all right? If you could take one person's costume and put it on another character, which one would it be?
Okay.
Which two would it be?
Give me a second on this. Give me a second on this one.
No.
1,000.
I would take... Okay. I would take... Howard the Duck's costume.
Stop yourself. First
That's
off, this podcast.
That's not even a costume. It's just a suit.
I can't believe we mentioned Howard the Duck on here.
And I would put it on Jesus.
I kind of knew we were going there.
I would take Jesus' costume. Yeah. Wait for this one. And put it on Mr. Sinister.
They're the same person. Anyway.
They are the same person anyway.
All
right. So I would take Blade's costume.
Ooh, damn.
And give it to Gambit.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Now he can be a thief.
It is not the same thing.
Less pink, more black.
Sword. Thank you. All black trench coat. Don't do that. And I would take Ra's al Ghul's costume, and I will also give it to Mr. Sinister, just so I can see him with his chest out.
All right. So I've been listening to another podcast. I'm sorry, folks. Cheating on y'all.
No, it's fine.
But listening to another podcast, and recently we're talking about Monet St. Croix.
Oh, M.
Yeah. All right. And admittedly, I didn't know a heck of a lot about her, except that now she's got these mouths in her hands, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, from her brother.
It's a little bit, yeah.
I've got one of those too.
Just one?
Just one.
It's unbalanced. How do you feed one and not? Okay.
You don't want to know the answer to that question there, TJ.
No, but apparently her I didn't realize this, but her mutant power is to be fundamentally perfect. So it's whatever the situation calls for, she's perfect for the situation. And
that's why she has all them goddamn powers.
That's right. Well, I mean, maybe. God knows, right? But I'd like to see classic Boom Boom's costume with Monet.
I love Boom Boom.
Like the pink and the yellow.
And the glasses that
But here's
stick
the
off to
deal.
one side.
She would have to be chewing bubble gum.
And have a side ponytail, too.
Exactly.
Side ponytail all day.
It'd be
Now-
awesome.
We are getting close to the end here, so
We don't have to.
Exactly. This is our
doesn't have to
podcast.
end.
We got plenty of beer. We got Pringles for crying out loud. We
don't
can go
worry.
all night long.
we
We
will
can
go
talk
all night long.
if you guys are into it.
We will talk all night long, but not here. More subtly.
And in your head.
In my head.
Outside
as
your
I'm
window
going
tapping.
to bed. Last question for you guys before we start to get to the wrap up of this. Let's end on this. What would your power be if you had one, and how would your costume reflect it? More importantly, would it be more substance, or efficient over style, or style over efficiency?
All right. So, because of this podcast and because of my good friends here, and those that
Where
are
are they
not
at?
here, we'll pour one out for the people that aren't here.
Does he have friends?
Not on the floor.
No, so I've been reading Legion of Superheroes here recently.
Hey!
All right?
Bum, bum, bum.
And so I'm kind of liking, this is be like gender swapping here, but I like the character Rose that's been around for
Rose and
Rose
Thorn,
Thorn.
yeah.
That's been around for thousands and thousands of years. I'm the old guy in this group, right? Until Miguel shows up. And then, so I like to think maybe my power is just to outlive everybody.
To
Just
endure.
just to keep going.
To be an old motherfucker.
That's right. Right. I'm halfway there. And the costume would necessarily change with every era, but it would
Right,
probably be more about blending in. So a little more functional. I wouldn't be a superhero. I don't have a power. Saving lives, it might be a little bit outside my lane there.
So
but being around.
you're just going to be around. You're not like Thorn, where Thorn comes out later on and is
Yeah,
like
well,
muscle and everything.
yeah,
You're just
that
TJ
bipolar
who
bullshit,
exists.
Yeah, no, and then to be the continuity when we start the Legion of Superheroes in the 31st century.
Okay, yeah.
I
yeah.
was there when.
That's right.
What are your-
we did this before.
What are your colors?
Oh, okay. No, so what are my colors? Let's go with I like blue and gray.
I like that too. Okay,
That's right.
especially as an enduring through the
And
times.
I think
yeah.
that
Like
would
Apocalypse.
pretty much go with everything. So I mean, every era, you probably couldn't go with purple and orange in every era, but maybe I don't know.
Those are solid standbys.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to leap over things in the leap year, because whatever. Bad
I
joke.
quit.
We can edit that out. All right.
I saw the wheels turning in here. My costume definitely would be a little practical and a little, I don't want to say flashy. I would definitely rock some type of jacket, probably.
What's your power though?
My power would be
Let's start there.
what I am,
Black?
electrifying.
You'd be black man?
Short.
No, they already have all of
Fly?
those. Yes.
You can fly. Yeah.
No. Well, that's part of the power set, though. Like, you is what you are.
You could be like Superfly Snuka,
Yeah, but I don't want to kill nobody, really, though.
but you don't have to. Oh.
Yeah, because he got that body.
So what is
Yes.
your power? Just
Oh, my power set would be electrical manipulation. My electricity would be red. I would go by red instead of electric. Yes, you're welcome for that. So of course my costume would be black, red, white outlines. I definitely have like a black leather jacket or something.
Miles Morales.
Yes, more or less, or meet Superboy.
Sure.
I definitely have some type of late 90s, 98 degrees Backstreet Boy goggles. I gotta protect the face, the money maker makes the money. So yeah,
This
that's
is
my
how I
aesthetic.
get paid.
okay.
A big E right here, be red, and it lights up kind of black lightning style.
John, what about you?
Oh, I'd probably just wear the standard streetwear.
What's your superpower first?
Oh, I'm not telling anybody that.
Who's that cat from Monsters Unleashed that drew the monsters and they came to life?
Kaiju. Kid Kaiju.
Kaiju.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about that?
Or like that one
Or,
Titan
gift into a
Go to
curse.
Tokyo movie.
Perhaps I would be that character from Naruto. Who,
Oh,
does the ink and
Inoji.
yeah. there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Eno be fucking.
I'm glad
Eno be
Kelsey
fucking
knows what the
stuff.
hell it is.
Yeah. I watch
I'd
it.
pretty much
Or
either
like,
be like naked or what I'm normally wearing.
We're all naked right now, so that works.
Or what was that dude named? Was
Don't
one
tell
of the
him
five lights, like Kenji or something, the bad one that was doing all the black ink and helping all them. All right, I guess it was the only one that read Generation Hope.
Tune into Kelsey's podcast. When
Oh, you gonna tune in because that's just gonna be ratchet.
Just open your damn beer.
You're going so close to opening the damn thing, and then
I opened the beer on the air already. We're good.
I'm doing what the women do to
already.
me. I'm like, no. You're not
Listeners, Kelsey's about to open a beer. Do it.
There it is.
Best part is we're cutting out that pop.
Pop goes to Weezer because the Weezer go pop.
For me, my power would either be super sacrilegious or teleporting. I would personally like teleporting a lot.
You would want to baffle away with sulfur in the air.
That's the thing. If I can teleport and leave the smell of rotting eggs and sulfur behind me, I'm doing great.
But do you
Daniel!
have to go somewhere?
No.
You can just leave the smell.
No, what I'm going to do is teleport and then, like, real quick, go over there and come back here so that I'm just sitting here.
Teleport around the corner and just walk back.
Who did that?
That's just some kind of mutant crop dusting at that point.
And I think my suit would be something to the effect of having not necessarily a GPS, but some cameras set up around, so I know I'm not going to teleport into a wall or into someone who's walking around the street.
Like Mr. Terrific's T-Spears?
Yeah, exactly. I'd have something kind of that functionality because everyone's like, teleporting's cool until you end up in a wall. Then you end up in the season premiere of the hit show Fringe. And not for me, not today.
Or you're being hunted by Samuel L. Jackson with white hair.
That's it.
Like in Jumpers.
Let's go ahead and close out the show today, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here and listening to us talk to each other. Today, we hope you took something away from this. We hope that as you were listening, you grew closer to God. TJ,
all praise be to Odin.
Or Mr. Sinister.
Hail Satan. TJ,
Mephisto.
where can the people find you and what's going on in your life?
Yeah, you can keep trying, but you're not going to be able to find me. I'm quickly transitioning into a new career, which would be great. And so lately I've been collecting up all my Army crap and trying to turn it in. It's arduous, to say the least. But no, that's all that's going on with me.
Anything to plug?
Yeah, so I want to plug this fantastic beer right here from New Belgium. We are not supported by, we haven't talked to, we haven't related to, sent an email to, we haven't gotten support from anybody. But it's a Voodoo Ranger Avenger IPA, so thank you for that. Appreciate it.
What's crazy is I actually know the guy who does the art for these guys. He comes into the
straight
power
out of
store.
town.
No, he comes into the power store. He's one of the
Want to give him a
regulars.
shout out?
I can't remember his name, but god damn it, you know who you are.
And it's some excellent art. It's not, I'm not kidding. This is pretty cool stuff.
It's really good.
It's not like just like a picture of a mountain or some kind of stuff. This is pretty good
It's
stuff.
a black dude that died,
What?
and
It's
now
a
he's a
skeleton
superhero.
for crying out loud. It's
How
not
do
a
you
black
know
dude.
he's black?
There was
Come
no
on
skin.
now.
There was
The
no-
gold tooth.
The gold tooth. Did you not watch Home Alone? Joe Pesci had a gold tooth.
Who you think he got it from?
A black man?
Did he?
Doy. He's white. Everybody gets it from the black man. Let's not play that game.
Kelsey, what do you like to plug?
Hey.
What's going on in your life?
Besides my black ass.
You want me to plug your black ass?
Where's your
No,
gold?
but I set that up for you. I knew you was going to grab that low hanging fruit.
By low-hanging fruit, he means
Stop.
his black ass.
No, my huevos.
Oh.
Negros.
Oh.
We on this today, baby.
Huevos negros, and that rhymes. So that's
Bilingual. Baby.
What's going on with you, Kelsey? Tell me about your life.
Besides me trying to turn off my humanity, but there's a whole nother podcast about that. No, I'm just living well, doing well, trying to be well, you know.
I appreciate that.
But right now, as always, you can find me on Facebook, Kelsey DeAndre Greer, Instagram, Snapchat, Kels KELS_4SHO for show. And right now, I think I just want to plug.
No, they can find you on the street, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can find me on the street, not literally on the street, but walking this street, especially downtown Colorado Springs, because a couple fans stopped me and was like, "Hey, you do a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." It's like, and they were like, "Oh my God, we love it." I was like, "Oh my God, I love you too. Thank you very much."
So
Continue
big shout out to all of you, who those of you that stopped Kelsey on the street. Thank you for not kidnapping him. Thank you for not doing a violence on him. Reach out to us. We'll have you on the show.
Yes.
So, Escaping Podcast, if you have any ideas about what your favorite supersuit would be or anything that you'd like to share, you can always find us at
Facebook, Instagram, in your dreams, in your
Pants.
room, in your pants, in those thoughts you can't shake when you're in the fucking shower. You know I'm behind you.
You're making it weird, man. You're making it weird.
You can find us all there.
It's been strange up to this point, but that shit was weird.
As a group, you can find us all there. If your phone is on a holder behind you, if you're listening in the library, we are always with you. Find us on Facebook, Escaping Podcast. Find us on Instagram under the same name. If you or anyone you know wants to send us any music to have used on the show, please do it. We love our local community. We want to make sure you guys are featured, and we just happen to have a small platform to do that. Thank you for listening, guys. Today we leave you with Squares by Hello Mountain. You heard them before on one of the more recent episodes with Face You Know. They're a local band. They've got some new stuff coming out by the end of the year. And just remember, there can only be one chum bucket, and there's only one you.
That's true. And whenever you feel the need to get away from your wife because she's hounding you from not being able to find your super suit.
Or your husband because he is just a bastard.
You could always be an escapee. Stay uncanny, y'all.
Goodbye, my friend, and I'll see you soon. Did it cut you down?